What's poppin', homies? It's your favorite homegirl, Gossip Girl, and today we're going to talk about the Zachariah Anderson case. This guy is a piece of work. In my commentary, I'm going to show you pictures and a short clip of him, trying to hush his daughter from talking, okay? And he thought no one saw him, but it's caught on tape. And this case also was on court TV. So let's go ahead and get into it. A Wisconsin father is currently on trial for the brutal murder of his former partner's new lover, who he allegedly stalked and beat to death with an object before disposing of his remains. Zachariah Anderson, 42, is charged with killing Rosalio Gutierrez Jr. at his apartment in Wood Creek back in May of 2020. Gutierrez, 40 years old, had been dating Mr. Anderson's former girlfriend, Sadie Beecham, with whom the accused killer shares 3 children. Now, prosecutors allege that Mr. Anderson was jealous of the new relationship and was stalking his love rival. Meanwhile, Mr. Anderson's defense claims that the state failed to look into any other potential suspects. The 42-year-old is now on trial in Kenosha County Circuit Court, charged with first-degree murder, intentional homicide, hiding a corpse, and stalking. He faces life in prison. Here's what we know about this case. The disappearance. Gutierrez was last seen or heard from on the 17th of May in 2020. 2 days later, a concerned Ms. Beecham visited his home to check on him after she couldn't get in touch with him. When she arrived at his apartment, she discovered the patio door open and blood on the floor, furniture, and the ceilings of the home. An area rug was also missing from the property, she told investigators. Ms. Beecham contacted the police, who carried out a welfare check inside Gutierrez's home. Inside, investigators found large amounts of blood and signs of a struggle, according to a criminal complaint. The victim's body has never been found, but investigators believe he is dead based on the sheer volume of blood found inside his apartment. The murder. On the evening of the 17th of May of 2020, prosecutors alleged that Mr. Anderson went to Gutierrez's apartment and brutally killed him with blunt force because he was jealous about his relationship with his former partner. He then disposed of Gutierrez's body. The morning after Gutierrez was last seen alive, he was spotted on surveillance footage doing I guess they meant going to a local Walmart when he bought garbage bags, latex gloves, and bleach wipes. He also bought cans of sardines. Investigators closed in on Mr. Anderson as Miss Beecham revealed that she believes her ex was tracking her movements. On the day Gutierrez's death was discovered, officers found burned pits smoldering at both Mr. Anderson's home and his farm, with the remains of bleach bottles and the accused killer's clothing among the ashes. Prosecutors said Gutierrez's DNA was then found inside Mr. Anderson's work van, and there was evidence that the interior had been scrubbed with bleach. Parts of his vehicle's interior carpet had also been removed. Bizarrely, 2 opened and uneaten cans of sardines were also discovered under the front passenger seat, the criminal complaint states. The arrest. On May 21st of 2020, Mr. Anderson was arrested and charged with 2 felony counts of stalking. That December, he was then also hit with charges of homicide and hiding a corpse. He has pleaded not guilty to all the charges. Now let's talk about the jealousy and stalking. Now, during his high-profile trial, jurors have heard that Mr. Anderson was jealous of his former partner's new relationship and was spying on the couple. On March 15th, Mr. Anderson's 50-year-old daughter took the stand to testify that her father had asked her to spy on her mother and record every single time my mother would get upset. She testified that he would frequently bring up Gutierrez when she saw him. Then, not long before Gutierrez's disappearance, Mr. Anderson also allegedly took his daughter with him to spy on the couple. On the night of April 24th, less than 1 month before the killing, she said that her father had driven them both to her mother's home to watch Sadie and Rosalio through the window. Anderson also went through Gutierrez's truck and took photos of the vehicle's license plate and registration. This guy is a sicko. He is a real piece of work. He then rang the doorbell at the home and fled, she said. The teenager also testified that her father told her about his plans to follow his love rival, who he referred to using a racial slur. He said something about showing him who the man was. And I didn't quite understand, but kind of caught on to things that my dad was referring to or was implying, she said. My dad said to me, he said, I may just watch him or follow him to his house one time just for the fun of it. Those were his exact words to me. This guy is insane. He is absolutely insane. He's going to spend the rest of his life in prison, so he might as well come clean and tell the court and the people what he did with Mr. Gutierrez's body. Because this is ridiculous. You're going through all of this for somebody who don't even want you. And then your daughter is testifying against you. They're asking her questions, and you sitting there as bold as day, pressing your lips together for her to be quiet. You know what I'm saying? First of all, they should have just asked her questions without him even being there. But he's trying to persuade her. Ridiculous. Now, the courtroom chaos. A dramatic moment unfolded inside the courtroom on March 15th when Anderson appeared to send a signal warning his daughter to stop talking as she testified against him. Mr. Anderson was seen putting his hands to his mouth and clamping his lips shut as he stared at his 15-year-old daughter on the witness stand in Kenosha County Circuit Court. Prosecutors accused the defendant of signaling to his daughter as she testified, which he did. It is on video. Meanwhile, the defense also accused Mrs. Beecham of using sign language to communicate with her daughter on the stand. What is going on with these people? You cannot do any hand gestures on this when you are in court. You cannot do that. You know, I didn't even know the mother did that, but I knew her father did, Zach. I know he did that, but I didn't even know she did that. You cannot do that in a court. Okay? Because that's trying to interrogate the witness that's testifying, or it's trying to, make them not testify. Oh, Lord. This case is something else. But Mr. Gutierrez's body still has not been found. Okay? Still has not been found. And I feel so bad for the Gutierrez family because his friends and family have not heard from him in nearly 3 years, and his credit cards have not been used. Okay? Prosecutors maintain Gutierrez is dead based on the large amount of blood splatter that was found inside his apartment. His body was never recovered. So what I think happened, I think Zach took his body somewhere else and dumped it, or he probably chopped it up and put it out into the water somewhere. The only way we're going to find out what happened to Gutierrez body is if Zach just come clean and say, hey, okay, you know what? This is what I did with the body. But he's not saying anything. Now, Gutierrez, he was a father of 2 young children, okay? So now his children are not going to see their father anymore because of Zach and his jealousy and his obsession with his ex-girlfriend dating someone else. If she didn't want you, is a reason why she didn't want you. You know what I'm saying? So why go through all of this? He's going to end up getting life in prison. Okay, so you guys, that's all I have right now for this case. When I get more updates, I will let you guys know. Let me know in the comment section if you heard about this case, and if you have, what do you think about it? And how do you feel about Zach making those gestures towards his daughter to keep her mouth quiet? And as for her mom, they should know better. You cannot use any type of hand language, sign language, or anything in the court. You cannot do that. But anyway, you guys, I will talk to you later.